Hey there, it's Saye, and today we'll be discovering how corals build their skeletons. Initially, coral may just look like a bundle of colorful branches to you, but it's really made up of colonies of small, identical coral polyps. The coral polyps have tiny tentacles with stinging cells called nematocysts, just like a jellyfish. Below the tentacles, you can find the caulicle, which is the cup-shaped compartment at the base of the polyp where the biomineralization or skeleton building occurs. Although corals may look like rocks, they are actually animals. They cannot produce their own food and energy like plants, so they rely on a symbiotic relationship with algae like Zooxanthellae. A symbiotic relationship is one in which two organisms both benefit from each other. In this case, the corals feed on the Zooxanthellae as their principal source of energy, and the Zooxanthellae rely on the coral polyps for shelter and nutrients. Now, let's take a look at the mechanisms behind the skeleton building process. When carbon dioxide from the atmosphere is absorbed by the ocean, carbonic acid is formed in the water. Carbonic acid then dissociates or breaks apart to form hydrogen ions and bicarbonate ions. These coral polyps move up and down to pump calcium ions and bicarbonate ions from the ocean into the caulicle, which is the biomineralization compartment. Since the bicarbonate ion has an additional hydrogen proton, the coral polyps remove this hydrogen through a pump in order to form the desired carbonate ions. The calcium ions that were already present in the ocean then combine with carbonate ions to form, you guessed it, calcium carbonate, which is the same thing that limestone is made up of. This process continues for thousands of years, resulting in sites like the majestic Great Barrier Reef. However, when coral bleaching occurs, the biomineralization process stops, and corals no longer grow their skeletons. When coastal ocean temperatures increase by just 2 degrees Celsius, the photosynthesis process in the algae is disrupted, and the algae create a reactive oxygen species that damages the polyp's tissues. In an attempt to protect itself, the coral polyps eject the algae. Since the polyps depend on the algae for 90% of their energy, this expulsion leads corals to starve, which inhibits their growth. Since these algae are responsible for the vibrant colors we see in reefs, their absence causes the reefs to go white, which is why the process is called coral bleaching. The relationship between coral polyps and algae like Zooxanthellae illustrates the importance of maintaining a balance in the ecosystem. In this case, global warming has increased the temperature of the ocean, and the iconic friendship between algae and corals is at stake.